to Ashenfell Season 2, Episode 2. How's everyone doing this morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world? We're kind of spread out here ourselves. First things first, let's jump right into it. And, are you great? Let's jump right into it and go and introduce our casting crew. Humblu is not joining us today. She has a work thing and thus doing life stuff, but that's cool. It doesn't matter. And we will start first with our storyteller and dungeon master, Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen. I will be your storyteller for this evening. And before we dive into the summary of the story, let's go around the table to introduce all of our fantastic players for tonight.
Freddie, go ahead, fam.
All right, I'm Freddie. I am playing Mehaman, the cleric. I am using a Domain of Fate cleric from the Arcadia class packet. That's by Fastno and Roberts. I just wanted to credit the class I'm using.
All right, awesome. Thank you. And our newest face to the channel and to the stream, Martin, welcome.
Thank you. Hi guys, I'm Martin. I'm playing a character called Torin. He's a dragonborn sorcerer. Should I spill the beans or leave some mystery to it? Okay.
Leave some mystery.
What? There's mystery if they don't know. It's a cliffhanger. Viewers like that sort of stuff. Okay. I'm gonna call it at that. Learn more. You're gonna have to watch.
Excellent. I love it. And hello, everyone. My name is Val. Today I'm playing my half-elf witch doctor by the name of Daphne Gravoy. She, the witch doctor class is a homebrew class created by one of our community members, Jamie, who you see on other shows here. And this is where I'm showcasing it. It's kind of diet wizard, diet druid, and diet cleric all mixed into one. And she just wants to go home, like always. Like, kind of thing. That's just what Daphne likes. As a reminder, everyone, this is a viewer-affected game where you can affect the outcome of some things with your bits, subs, and donations. Nightbot will tell you exactly what they are, but for 100 biddies, you can give a luck point to the player and their, or the dungeon master even, with a subscription to the channel. You can give a greater healing potion to either of us. And if you want to actually donate money, like give me money, like I believe it's $5 we agreed on, you can give a nat 20 or a nat 1 to a character or the dungeon master. That's the dealio, fam. And we are counting all of our donations to Extra Life as part of donation rewards this month. So, without further ado, that's all my work. Jen takes away.
All right. Welcome, everybody, once more into the world of Ashenfell. Last time we found our players into the world of the Twines, the Drow capital within River Castle. A beautiful underground city structured and built around cavernous spaces of stalagmites and stalactites, creaking and broken causeways and deep holes that lead to spaces unknown. As the players entered into the beautiful city, they found themselves encountered with a group called the King's Guild, a very famous, very noteworthy guild located in Dragonwall, a guild that's ancient and full of glory. The current guild leader at this King's Guild is Monty Greenhorn, and he's approached the group with a proposition of, do you want to stop an assassination? With some finagling and negotiation and a contract agreed upon, Monty took the group into the city, into the caverns, where they explored areas of interest. A group by the Red Hand of Loth, a group within the council, and possibly the nobles themselves. As they approached the Red Hand of Loth, they discovered that the cult itself wasn't a threat. It was more of a possible misdirection, as this cult seems to be very generous, wanting to promote the well-being of disenfranchised groups such as the poor, the hungry, and the needy. They wanted to raise them up and give them a better chance to help the newly crowned queen, or the queen to be, to help and recognize these people. As they were mingling with this group, one of you, I believe, Daphne, noticed someone slipping away. And as they were slipping away, Monty noticed that they were part of the honor guard, with tattoos across their face and drawing the group ever nearer to who it could possibly be. They went back to the tavern, recouped for the night, and found themselves bright-eyed, fresh, a little more wary in the morning, as the tavern below them is full of life, noise, smells of breakfast, and gentle rapping at each of your doors to wake you up.
Well, Daphne is up early, as normal, because Daphne wakes up with the roosters. That's just what she does. Meatballs! Sorry. And she's gonna go down and order some coffee and some breakfast.
All right. As you go down, Monty's already there smoking his pipe, and he's talking to this figure sitting across the table from him. It seems to be a dragonborn.
Scaly things always are Daphne's interest. So she kind of like stares for like very awkwardly for a while. I mean, like just unabashedly just staring at this person from like the bar as she's waiting for her stuff to be served to her. You know how like just like spacing out on you.
Torin, describe what you look like as you're sitting across from this human man who has scraggly red hair that's graying in areas, smoking his pipe. You know him as Monty. He's been in contact with you. He's trying to bring you into the fold, trying to recruit you to the King's Guild.
The first thing you notice about Torin is the fact that he looks like a statue when he's not moving. He is so martial and almost imperious to the point that you confuse him with a statue of a Roman emperor or something. But then you snap back to reality for a second and realize he does move, he does breathe, and he's often haughty but wrong. Oh, and he's a silver dragonborn, so scales, rope-like hair.
Incredibly
You know.
shiny.
So your food is served to you, Daphne, and Monty glances over to you and kind of beckons you over to the table.
Oh shit, I was staring. Alright, ha! As I like come on over and I sit down with my stuff, it's like, Monty, who's your shiny friend here?
He nods over. This is Torin, the group I told you about that didn't quite make it yesterday.
Oh, was he a part of that group?
Yes.
Oh, honey.
Yes. It is quite regrettable, but it is nature's way that the strong survive and the weak perish.
Sure. Yep, that's exactly how it works. It's exact.
It is regrettable.
Yes, of course. Like we all Did you need anyone to did you need to talk to any of the dead people? Like, not saying that I can do that, but I might know somebody. I totally can do that. Shit. I just like stuff my face. Like,
Meatballs for breakfast.
I guess
Strange, but
I guess they were out of sausage.
I like it. I'll have an order of that too.
Well, you should go and get it yourself. Because
Monty stands up. I'll get it. Where's your cleric? Where's our cleric, Ren? Mehemen. He stands up. Goes to the bar to order food for everyone.
I'll come down at this point. Honey cake for me, please. Honey cake, honey cake, honey cake.
Honey cake.
It seems we all have something in common. We all love food.
we all kind of need it.
Fair. I once met a snake person who didn't need to eat for a year.
Well, that's
I
just
mean-
no fun.
Yes, I agreed with you. It's unbelievable. They would swallow a being whole and then fast for a year. Unbelievable. The kinds of people
Fasting
you
makes it worth it because you have to digest a very, very long time. Isn't that right, brother? And like, I have a little white snake on my shoulder.
Hi, cuties! I look at the snake and not the cleric.
Hello, little friend.
Oh, aren't you beautiful? Did you shed recently?
Yes, how did you know?
Well, you look so exfoliated.
Oh, thank you. I used this new scrub. It's some sort of sugar scrub. I'm not familiar with it, but a friend of mine recommended it to me. I went to the chemist and had it made up.
Is it also edible?
I suppose so. It's grapefruit scented, so... do you
sounds
like
awful.
grapefruit? I can get you some.
Yes, I'd love it. Would it work on soft skin?
I think it might be a little rough, considering it does contain, sharp rocks, but you can try?
I'll try anything once. Just so you
That
know.
is mighty brave of you. I respect you,
Well, what's the
Torin.
point of being out in the world if you're not trying everything you can? I mean, really.
That attitude is noble and deserving of respect. Torin kind of like puts his arm across his chest and takes a hearty bow.
Mehaman is blue-skinned, but has like two different shades of blue going on in kind of patches.
Mhm.
And he is an Air Genasi. And he's got a little white snake. And he's covered in embroidery. Not the snake, Mehaman is. The snake is naked.
The snake is naked.
So now I just want Daphne to make a sweater for brother.
It would just be a tube.
Yeah. She would if you asked. Or she not if she doesn't ask. And Daphne, she's a half elf. But you can kind of tell like the elf part of her is a little bit more elfy than a lot of elves. She there's practically like the way that her eyes go is like, instead of having like black pupils, it's just like light gold irises, dark gold pupils kind of thing. She has like little tins of yellow like in her, like naturally in like her dark curly hair. And she's dressed kind of like a little bit more practically than she used to. She doesn't just wear like bohemian skirts everywhere anymore. And sandals, like she has proper shoes on now. But she doesn't have like calloused hands or things like that. She's not used to actually being like, working with them.
Long fingernails and stuff.
Yeah, she had to trim. She's very disappointed. She got really good at doing her own nails, and now she had to trim them down. It's just not ideal.
Well, I can sympathize. My claws are hotter than rocks sometimes, so trimming them is a chore.
I bet you need something dwarven made to clip those nails.
Yes, sometimes we get them magically trimmed.
Is there like a boutique or something?
Yes, in Drakoska. I forget the name.
If I weren't an oracle, I would want to be a magical nail trimmer.
As you're talking, Monty comes back over with sweet cakes, breakfast foods, and sets them down and goes back to smoking his pipe.
So, what about Jorah?
Jorah's gonna stay in today. He's not well, I think. He's got a bit of a cold. Was a bit moldy down in those caves.
Okay, if he says so. Can't you do something like that? Don't clerics have something for rhinovirus? You know what? I know exactly. Is to like pull out a potion of hot sauce. We should just like loan this to him. It'll help clear his sinuses.
I think that once a man like that is dedicated to spending the day resting, he's going to spend the day resting.
Yeah, but I just wanted to give him the hot sauce to help him.
Monty just stares at you.
What?
We'll take it up to him. As he kind of takes the hot sauce from you and holds out his hand to one side.
Oh wait,
You
hold
see
on
the
one
kobold.
second. And I just like check underneath the label. Yep, that's the right one. Take it.
Stares at you as the kobold you saw earlier kind of appears out of the shadows, takes it from him, and disappears back into the shadows. Right.
Are we going to the
So-
court today?
We can. We have a direction. The honor guard are court bound.
I'd feel awfully... Hold up, I'm going into a different character's voice. I am chew my food. You know, I'd feel awfully strange just going to court without the actual bard going with us. I'm just saying that they're, like, if we have to, like, you know, talk to people. Are you good at talking to people? And I'm going to turn to Torin.
Well, I know all of the mannerisms and niceties of official courts of, you know, where I'm from, Drakoska, but I assume they're similar.
Okay, I'll believe him. I'm a hermit. I just assume.
Monty looks deeply amused by your interaction as he stands. So
Although I do remember Jorah was so excited about having a makeover. But we are running out of time.
That is true. What other leads do we
Yes.
have?
Well, we could talk to Her Highness. Go directly to her if you want to interview and speak with her. I'm sure she'd love to meet all of you.
Talk to an actual empress?
Impressed to be, yes.
Yes, don't be so frightened. She's only a queen.
Opposed to what?
As opposed to an empress.
Well, it would be simple. The proper address for both of them is Your Majesty.
Okay, Your Majesty. I think I understood that much.
Yeah, as opposed to your imperial majesty.
Okay.
Surely you've had political dealings where you've just talked to people.
Not successfully, no.
don't worry. She'll be charmed by you.
Me? No.
No, come on. You're adorable.
You're adorable. Stop.
No, you're adorable.
No, shut up. You're adorable. But no, really, I'm just kind of awkward.
Worry not. I'm awkward as well, but I get by.
It's because you're shiny.
I think so too.
Like, there are lots of advantages to being shiny.
Yes. You could be money.
I reconsider a lot of things in my life because of shiny things.
Yes. So, remind me, we're trying to stop an assassination.
I wouldn't say that
Yes.
too loudly.
Sorry, I have one...
Maybe this is why your other people are dead. I'm just saying.
Probably.
So, shut
know-
up.
Okay.
It's a good thing that you're pretty.
Thank you, I think.
Yes, and I think we've only got 2 more days before it's supposed to pop off.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
So-
remind me of our leads.
Well,
Your leads.
possibly
are-
due to our own prejudices, we went for the lead that was a underground cult first, and it turns out they were actually just a bunch of really nice people. So we're going closer to the target, as it were, to see if there's anything there that we can gather. It might be something of an inside job.
Interesting. The plot thickens.
Yes.
Where should we start? Maybe that
looks
was
at
at-
you.
Pardon?
Monty looks at you. Well, we could go to the courts, the queen, the nobles.
Well, that's what happens when you get a cold, I guess. Let's go.
Monty stands up and Torin, you know, Monty has a bit of a reputation of being this charismatic being, but he looks very dressed down and shabby, like somebody you would find who's been living rough on the streets. And he kind of makes his way towards the door and gets a few glaring looks, and you hear some mutterings of him being called a lot of names behind his back as he just leaves.
Pardon? I didn't hear what you said, friend.
One of the drow men kind of look up at you and squint his eyes, and he said, "What you say?
I said I couldn't hear you.
What does it matter to you, Dragonborn?"
It doesn't matter to me at all. I just couldn't hear you.
The drow man kind of looks at you oddly. Called him a no-good bum. What's it to
Oh.
you? He's human.
It is nothing to me. I just... If you're going to insult someone, you should do it to their face.
You see him stand up as he reaches for a knife at his side.
I don't mean any trouble, friend. It's just... If you really want to insult someone, you should do it properly.
He stares at you and then looks to his companion. Roll me a persuasion check.
Okay?
Oh no. Like, I'm just standing next to Muhammad, and I'm like,
Okay, with a 24 in persuasion, the drow man kind of tilts back on his heels, relaxes his features, and nods. You're right. I'll go insult him to his face as he gets out of the table, around the table, and goes after Monty.
Good. I like to see things done properly.
Well, this is an escalation.
I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm gonna wait and go outside. Just,
I'm gonna follow the drow outside and kind of hail Monty down and say, "Friend, I think I made a friend."
Monty turns around. What? And the drow elf punches him in the face and spits on him as Monty staggers back, wipes the spit off his face. I see. You've made a friend.
Yes, yes, I'm excited, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Oh, why ever not?
He looks to the drow and looks to you. I don't know. Punch to the face kind of ruins any friendship.
Oh, yes.
I would like
didn't-
to go to the drow and use thaumaturgy to do some blustery winds.
Okay.
Say, oh dear, I think you accidentally bumped into my friend with your fist. I think that you ought to apologize.
Roll an intimidation check.
I'm sure I'm great at this.
The 10, he looks at you, looks around at the gathered group and says, I don't think so, pal.
Would it be appropriate for him to apologize? I don't know the standards and mannerisms of this court.
I look to Monty and I say, well, my lord, would you like me to make him apologize?
Monty looks a bit panicked, but then calms himself and shakes his head. No, it's... We are off. Rubs his cheek. We are off. Turns around as the drow man just laughs and heads back into the bar. Getting what he wanted.
So, does he just like punching homeless people? Is that like a thing? Does he need to go talk? I know a man he's a doctor. He specializes in that. His name is Philip. I think I'm gonna give you his card. If I can find it. You know what? Never mind. Like, he's just on my shit list because, you know what? It's not cool to beat up bums. Not saying that you're a bum, dear, but, I mean, like, do you honestly plan to go, talk to the queen dressed like that?
Yes.
Good, because you make me look really... Because I was worried that I was looking bad, and, we're fine.
Right. I'm the master of the King's Guild. I can dress however I want. I don't care.
Okay.
It is a power move.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like showing up to the Oscars in sweatpants.
I think sweatpants would be an upgrade right now.
I go to my friend Oscar's in sweatpants all the time.
You have a friend named Oscar? What's he like?
Yes, he has. He's a bit on the small side for a dragonborn, so he's only about 6 feet. But he's great at tinkering with things.
Mm. And you wear sweatpants to his house?
Yes, he's my neighbor.
Okay.
Monty just rubs his cheek. Why do I get that feeling? You lots are gonna get me killed.
Well, have consolation, Monty. If we get you killed, you'll know it will be with good company.
Yep. He just walks away, shaking his head, muttering in all the languages he knows, because he's had a day and it's barely breakfast.
I'm gonna start following him, kind of striding along.
Yes, look on the bright side. Having a punch in the face first thing in the morning has got to keep you alert.
I agree. You know, I should start doing that to myself.
Don't devise it, friend. It hurts. Quite a bit.
I'll trust your counsel.
Monty, do you need healing?
No. it just bruises, and you do see a small semblance of a bruise where he was punched growing on his cheek. He's gonna have a black eye.
Well, just say the word. I'll track that man down, and make him apologize.
It's alright. I mean, I knew what I was getting into coming in here. No, it happens, I suppose.
I know sometimes it can be tactically advantage to have someone underestimate you, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't think it was. Yeah, I think you'll see when we get to the palace. Let's see.
Silly question, but what did he mean by those things he said? Why does he think that?
You see Monty pause and turn around to you, and he kind of fiddles with a pocket watch for a bit as he kind of stares down at the ground. So about 25 years ago, I had this romantic interest in a wonderful woman, particularly here in the Twines. We were going to get married until she was called away to higher purpose, and I went back home to Dragonwall. We were involved quite a bit. Most of the kingdom knew about us. And, well, the courts are very clever at framing me as the bad guy. And that left her when it was a mutual agreement.
I understand. She just couldn't keep herself off you.
No, but, I'd rather not talk about my exes, especially when they're gonna become queen.
Oh.
Oh,
Pardon, can you say that again?
oh, that's
My
a very
ex.
high calling.
There's a mural of us in the grand hallway.
Oh, I should like to see that.
Yep, we're gonna see it. Definitely gotta see it.
I'm excited. Let's go.
Oh,
I am
yep.
so excited.
I'm not excited.
I'm sorry, Monty.
I'm just
But
thinking
cheer
to
up.
myself, Jorah is gonna miss this. I can't wait to close.
Monty kind of just rubs his brow. You got a migraine already as he pushes into the city proper. Looming before you is the tall spires of the Drow Kingdom, beautifully, elegantly carved upwards out of what seems to be stone that seems to be built into the ground surface itself and painted over with this beautiful whitewash and emerald slated roof tiles. And as you see the approach to the outer spires of where the walls kind of surround the main palace, Monty goes up to a guard, shows the symbol of the King's Guild, and is let in without much of a fuss. A few glares, but not much of a fuss, and looks back towards all of you.
We're coming. We're on our way. Like,
Right.
we're letting you lead the way. I've never been in such an esteemed building before. It's kind of big, so just...
I'm following Monty like a court attendant, just like behind him to his left with my hands clasped in front of me.
uh, Torin has one way of walking, and it is stiff and rigid, and he walks that way.
I'm just gonna be behind the big shiny dragon.
All right. You approach the inner walls of this beautiful palace, and you see gardens to the left and right of you, hedges kind of reaching up towards the sky in a beautiful spiral upreach, and you see flowers that are bioluminescent of greens, purples, pinks, oranges, and reds, just littering this garden space around you. A fountain can be heard in the distance, along with vines that seem to be growing upwards along a wall that has a faint white hue to it to give it a source of light, dim light. Not painfully bright, but something for the plants to function in. The walls stretch outward and kind of concave and curve upwards. Again, that stone built feeling of a natural carving of this space. You approach an archway that seems to have dimensions of smaller archways kind of carved in and singular corridor funneling you down into this what looks to be a round oak door before it's pushed open by the attendant. And you're brought into a space of washed white marble floors, red carpets, and almost black and white marble walls to the either side of you, pillars made of what looks to be red and gold granite. And on the left side, you see a portrait. A couple portraits, actually.
I'd like to look at the portraits.
Yeah, I want to see if Monty is in any of them.
Both of you roll me investigation. As Monty keeps continuing, his head downwards, mumbling away to himself.
Good, a -1 in investigation.
Torin, you're more distracted by this beautiful depiction of this woman in a soft gray, velvet robe, kind of shimmering down her form. Her hair is done up in beautiful braids and almost a cascading, flowing feel, and soft purple skin glittered with these freckles of golds and blues. You, Mahaman, do see a portrait of Monty and what seems to be a similar woman to what Torin is observing. They're next to each other. Monty standing behind her, a woman sitting down, hands neatly clasped on her lap. She has a very gentle, welcoming smile, beautiful features. And Monty looks much younger. He has much fresher features, richer clothes, and kind of almost an arrogant look to him, a dashing rogue sort of look.
I wave the other two over to look at it.
Oh, have you seen this lady? She has purple skin in this painting.
That's what drow normally have, honey.
Yes, but it's so purple and gold and sorry, what were you saying?
It's I can't believe she has a painting of Monty in such a prevalent place. She must still have a flame for him.
Yeah, she's clearly not ashamed of her former relationship. So, but I mean, I guess if you're ruling a country, who cares? Just one. Well, that's okay. Oh, that is also another issue, isn't it, with humans romancing elves? They tend to die a lot quicker.
Yes. Well,
Can't very well
where I
have
come,
a half-elf ruling, after all.
well, where I come from, it is normal for royalty to take many consorts. So I'm sure this is her first of many.
Probably, yes.
That's all right. Monty should be proud of himself.
I mean, she's hot.
I
so,
would be.
Yeah, I mean, that is. I can't say that I wouldn't be. She's something else.
Right. Let's meet her.
Right. Oh, look, he's like super ahead of us. Wait, Monty, sorry! We got distracted by your beautiful painting of face. As I like run to catch up.
He pauses at a kind of arched door and looks back at you as the guards that line this hallway kind of watch you hurry up to catch up with him. And he just gives this heavy, exhausted sigh. As if he was expecting something like this, but not to this extent. He's just, okay.
Oh, don't be embarrassed. You looked great.
Truly.
That's what... My wife died. That's what happened.
Oh.
I give him a very awkward, like, I go to almost hug him, but then I, like, stop and I just do that thing where, like, it's his shoulders and I'm like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Monty.
Yeah, me too. Let's, yeah.
Complicated situation.
Yeah. 15 years is a long time.
Ooh, tell me, that's half my life. Well, no, existing so far. I don't. Anyway, ready? I'm sorry. I should never open my mouth.
Let us know if there's anything we can do to make this less awkward for you, Monty.
I don't think you can. It's beyond awkward now. Everything about this entire situation.
Sorry.
Well, we're here for you, and if anyone else tries to punch you in the face, I'll kill them.
Don't start the diplomatic incident. I'm already that.
Well, I know that when my mother used to sing me lullabies in Draconic, it will always calm my nerves. If you ever need something like that, Monty.
Just thinking about what
for you.
lullabies and draconic sounds like. Do I speak draconic? Hold on.
He reaches out and pats your
Yes.
shoulder, Torin. Thank you. I don't need a lullaby, but I'll keep it in mind.
Good.
Good.
Oh. He's so big and
Well,
adorable
shall
and
we?
stupid. I love it. I lean over. I was like, we must protect Scaly Boy.
I just remembered I can speak Draconic.
We're gonna have private conversations with him. We're keeping him right. Like, we can keep him. I don't know why I'm asking you. Of course we're keeping him. Like,
Monty turns around and just kind of pinches the brow of his nose and says, "Announce us, please, before it gets worse."
okay, let's go.
The guards just kind of giving all of you a bemused look, as if they're like, yeah, good luck, pal. As the doors pause, creak open, and push forward into a beautiful golden space of light and soft, glowing grays. Monty steps in, and you can see pillars kind of line the central chamber, and you see it kind of taper into a round circular dome at the end, as you would see in a cloister in a cathedral. You see a number of guards off to the side, and two people sit in front of an altar, and behind them 2 more people sit, and then a woman sits on a throne, kind of looking over all of you.
My.
The space itself has imagery of what looks to be drow achievements, of battles, of conquest, of city building, of things not noted in history. At least none of you would recognize it. You see a very faint image of Loth being cast down in one of these imageries, as if she weren't part of the Drow pantheon anymore. Monty kind of taps his pipe out against his chest and tucks it away before stepping forward quietly, bowing his head.
I will follow suit and like mimic the exact thing that he does, because I have no idea how to act in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and Torrin's bow is gonna... His forehead's almost gonna hit the floor.
Yep, I do a proper court bow from Malaford.
Okay.
Not quite a lying all the way down on your belly on the floor, but a bow.
It's a bow. You follow suit, and you see the drow woman stand up very neatly, as if she has no movement, but every bit of grace of a dancer. And she steps up to the altar, hands kind of neatly in front of her chest. She's wearing the silver robe that seems to hide her body. It goes all the way down to the floor. Her hair's neatly tied up in braids and sits in a bun at the back of her head. Her face is just as beautiful as it was in the portrait. The gold and blue freckles dot her face as sharp purple eyes kind of observe you. The four figures sitting around her watch you quietly. Some have weapons in their hands, some just neatly laying their hands across their lap. Hello, and welcome.
Does Monty speak?
Monty does not speak. He just bows his head.
I'm gonna turn to face Monty, kind of obviously expecting him to do something.
He looks towards you, and then looks towards Daphne, Mohammed. Inhales and looks up. Lady Atrin, these are the people I've brought in to help. Atrin looks from Monty to the rest of you, smile across her features. It's good to meet all of you.
Thank you
Why have
for
you
receiving
come?
us.
Yes, why have you come to my chambers?
Well, we were hoping to...
We've come to interrogate you!
Oh no, no.
Lady Atrin kind of tilts her head. Oh?
Oh, well, I perhaps a poor choice of words. We're on a fact-finding mission, correct?
Monty nods. And you see he's just trying to keep himself very in control of his features.
Sorry, Memen, I cut you off. Continue.
Well, I was going to ask Your Majesty if it were possible for us to have a private audience with you. Considering we are with someone you trust.
She looks to the four people around her, then to Monty. Roll persuasion check.
Okay, this'll go great.
I believe in you.
Hey!
Atrin kind of steps forward all the way to the altar. We can have a private conversation here. She snaps her fingers, and the four people around her look to her, stand up silently, and leave without a word.
Oh, good. In these situations, one never knows.
The guards, however, have not left.
Before those four people leave, I would like to, from where I am standing and looking at their shoes.
Okay. Roll perception.
I'm good at that. Let's find my character sheet. It's like,
That would be useful.
It would
perhaps.
be. It would be. I just have to see if I had it up. Perception. Ooh, that's a really good one for me. That is a +6. So that you guys know that I'm very much always the first roll. 19 +6, so that is high.
25.
25, yeah.
You look at their boots as they file past you. The larger drow man kind of just eyes you quietly before he leaves. The boots, they're not dissimilar from what you saw. They have the same uniformity to it, and you get the sense that it's part of the uniform that these people employ.
Cool. Did any of them have mud, or is there like remnants of like maybe dirt that might have fallen off where they were standing?
You look, and with that roll, I would say you don't see any.
I'm gonna be keeping an eye out for like people who have a little bit of dirt on their boots, because of, you know, home person that was in the in the cave.
All right. Lady Antron has stepped up to the altar itself and looks over all of you, her head still tilted to one side, hands across her chest. And you wish to interrogate me?
Perhaps a poor choice of words. Well,
So you've said.
Well, I kind of look to Monty. We have reason to believe that, you may know this already, but, assassination.
As you say that, the guards that remain kind of place their hands on their weapons as Lady Antron holds up her hand. Yes, assassination against my life.
Yes. Do you suspect anyone?
To be honest, I didn't suspect anybody until a few days ago, when my own counselor was taken from me.
Oh my.
Torn takes out a notebook. Tip ready to write, or quill rather, ready to write, and looks up.
I have a GM question.
Yes.
Sorry to break out of character, but I do want to clarify this before I try this. For the spell sending, does the message need to be verbally spoken aloud, or is it telepathic?
I will say it can be telepathic if you have the subtle meta magic.
Okay.
But if you don't, it does have to be verbal.
Okay, good to know.
All right.
I myself am curious, and I'm going to try to ask this in a low enough tone so that the guards won't be able to hear. I don't know how close they're hovering.
They're on either side of the hall. They are within reach of her, but not overly intrusive of her.
Okay. It would be useful for us to know, especially if this is something coming from somewhere close to you, if there might be anyone who would have cause to wish you harm.
You see Lady Atron kind of move towards all of you, trying to suss out who spoke. I am going to be the queen of this country. Many want me dead.
Who would stand to inherit the crown should you pass?
My cousin, a lady in the court, a noblewoman. A few people would inherit the crown, and to be frank, to remove me It would ruin a long line of Denral's influence, as I am the last of the lineage.
Ah.
And does your cousin and the noblewoman, do they have a good relationship with you?
My cousin, yes. Noblewoman, no. She's one of my more outspoken opponents, I would say.
To be fair, I don't think someone who is openly outspoken would risk being caught.
No, no, that's not necessarily a lead, but it might be good to know. Perhaps she has someone who is looking to win her favor.
Yeah, that is true.
What is her name?
Her name is Lady. She pauses and looks to the guards, nods her head, makes them leave. Now that we're truly alone. She is Lady Rosamund. She's quite talented in being a vocal opponent. She's cleverly crafted many lies against me, and many of those who are close to me.
Who loves her the most?
I wouldn't know. I don't keep track of that sort of thing.
Do you know anyone who would know?
Probably one of my advisors.
Let's ask them.
You see Lady Amtrin kind of just smile politely. Of course.
Please, I guess. I'm sorry.
Do you have any other outspoken opponents, as it were?
The Hand of Loth? Probably. You disagree?
What? Oh, I'm sorry. I farted.
How could you, in the presence of a queen-to-be?
I mean, it's better out than in. I'm lying, by the way, so I'm assuming that I need to deceive.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can, but yeah, you can roll to deceive, yeah. Auntie's just kind of
She really did make that noise. That was her defense. Oh, I love playing low chalk characters now that I can. I not 20'd that.
She kind of looks at you and tilts her head as her advisors come back in.
We've found that the Hand of Loth is a very good scapegoat for someone should they want to blame it on an obvious and an obvious threat that's not likely to be able to defend themselves. Oh. Do you know of anyone or any faction that would have tattoos on their face?
Yes, my honor guard.
They
are
all
marked
do?
by. Yes, they are all marked by it because they have taken a vow of celibacy and they are not allowed to marry.
Oh, I see.
I look over at Auntie. Oh.
Auntie looks at you. What?
Perhaps
Have
we
you
might
had
speak. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to ask if you've had any honor guard who were either recently dismissed or recently taken on.
Nobody I know of. I keep them very close.
It's
You
safe to
saw
say you
some.
trust them.
I trust them with my life, yes.
Can we
Perhaps.
see them?
Yes. She calls the guards back in, and you see the 3 guards that you saw leave earlier enter back into the space.
Are these all of them?
No, these are the top elites I keep close to me. The rest of them are milling about the palace.
Perhaps we might speak with a captain of the guard.
Sure. She looks over to the one to your right there and says, Miriam, speak to these fine people for me. You see a drow step forward, and she's very tall, and she looks down at you. Her eyes are a stark gray color as she just stares at you quietly.
Have any of your minions... I'm in the wrong voice again. Have any of your minions needed to polish their boots lately?
Miriam looks to Antren and then back to you. Polishing our boots is part of the military code. We keep them clean.
Right, how often do you do that?
Twice a day.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Did anyone have to do it 3 times a day today, yesterday? Anyone had to do some extra polishing? Like they might have been in some mud or underground, or was there
Miriam
anyone
looks at you.
underground?
And then looks to Antren to Monty. We live underground. The Twines is in a cavern underground.
Like, when I say underground, I mean like in a place that's like the outside underground, not the inside underground. Like where, you know, there's tiles and... Oh, God. I'm not very good at this. I'm sorry.
I'll put my hand on Daphne's shoulder and say, "It's all right. Everyone struggles."
Monty speaks up. The outer caverns. Is that what you mean, Daphne?
I guess. Like...
He nods. Miriam kind of looks at you. Of course, we are often in those tunnels to keep the undead away.
I whisper to the left and to the right to Daphne and Memman. I said, perhaps Miriam might be a little more honest if her boss wasn't looking over her shoulder.
Very good point.
Let's not... Oh, does anyone have any questions for Her Royal Imperial Majesty? I'll take that as a no. Perhaps, Miriam, we might move somewhere else that would take less of Her Imperial Majesty's time.
Right, we can treat you to a coffee.
When I'm off duty.
Okay. When's that?
Very well.
6 hours from now.
All right. Do you have a favorite spot that you like to go to?
No.
Does that mean we can pick it?
Her eyes narrow at you. I'm not leaving the grounds. We could stay here.
So there's an in-grounds coffee shop, is what you're saying.
We have the kitchens.
Oh, okay. I guess we're gonna... Do you want to meet in the kitchen? In the mess hall?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a date then.
It's not a date.
Torn's just doing this. Back and forth.
No one said we were dating you.
Antren kind of speaks up. Do you still wish to talk to my advisors after you've embarrassed the captain of my guard?
I think all the
yes.
information we can get.
I did have the question for your opponent. Her name was Lady... They know.
Rosamund.
Rosamund. Who would be someone who cares very deeply to her, with her, that would like to see her be in charge? Who's the most emotionally attached person you can think of? That's like not her mom or dad or something like that. I mean, it could be, but yeah. Like within her own inner circle.
Possibly the priestess that services her on her occasion.
Oh, what is this priestess's
Oh.
name?
Who does she follow?
The new gods, of course. To suggest otherwise is treason.
Oh, I was just curious.
And Trent kind of looks at you and smiles. Of course. Security on city is a good thing.
So would I have known about this encounter with the person with the dirty boots and facial tattoo?
I think Monty would have caught you up on it, yes, definitely.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you would know that the honor guard are pretty high-skilled people. They are well kept, and and like they are top of the grade military line guards.
So if I may ask, what actually happened in the encounter?
The encounter went as the group was leaving, they spotted a figure leaving the Hand of Loath cult, and they caught features of a face, well-tailored boots, a tattoo that would signify they are part of the honor guard. But other than that, not much was seen, as they were wearing a cloak and are quite skilled at magic, it appeared.
There are a lot of possibilities here. It could be someone who wants to pin the assassination on the cult. It could be someone who just is a closet cultist. It could be someone who is doing the same thing we're doing and trying to look and see if there's any suspicious activity there on behalf of the queen. Yeah, I'm not sure what their motives were, aside from that when we saw them, they ran.
Very well. Perhaps we'll come back and meet Miriam at the mess hall.
Yes, that sounds appropriate.
Okay. The council that is gathered kind of watch you quietly sit back down on their seats as Lady Antron goes back to her throne and sits down. I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
And you, keep well.
Of course. Monty bows and turns round to leave. And you hear Miriam say, Lord Montague, try not to fall in love with one of us again. Monty pauses in his step before he continues onward.
Well, I'm glad we're not the ones who made it awkward.
Yeah, I actually feel really good about myself after that.
So you leave the space where the throne room is and go back through the hall where the portraits kind of line this grand hallway. Monty leads you out into the gardens and looks to all of you. Well, you have 6 hours to kill.
But have we seen the honor guard around the palace?
Make a perception check. Other than the ones you saw within the hall itself where her ladyship was, you don't really see many people standing out in the kind of wear you saw. You see a lot of servants and what you would guess noble and court people, but you kind of get the sense they're probably like the secret police or plainclothes policemen. They're there, but you're not aware of them.
Okay. And the guards I'm assuming they're like guards guarding the gate that we passed.
Yes.
And were they honor guard or just normal guards?
You didn't really get a good look with that
Okay.
perception check. You weren't actively looking at them.
Okay. Okay.
But if you leave, you can make that check again.
Well, I would like to have some lunch. What do you all say?
Lunch sounds good. Do we want to go out or do we want to go cook something? Like,
Anything. We should meet back here in, say, around 5 hours. Get here a little early.
oh, you want to go eat lunch by yourself? Okay.
Oh, no, I'm happy to join you. I just didn't assume you'd invite me.
Oh, of course we should have lunch together.
Oh.
Very well.
What do you like to eat?
Well, normally I stick to a strict diet of protein and carbohydrates to
What?
keep myself in top physical form.
Protein and carbohydrates are the two things that you eat. So you're saying that you just eat everything?
Yes, in very specific quantities.
Oh, okay. What is your protein to carbohydrate ratio?
3 to 1 precisely.
3 to 1? Oh, okay.
Yes,
That is a
of course.
really good. It's a very good ratio, actually.
Yes.
So, oh man. So if I ever have to like cook for you, I just need to know how much rice goes into your gumbo.
Precisely.
There you go. See. But just the okay. Anyway, what do you want to eat? I look over at Mohanan.
I don't know. What do they eat down here? It must be like grubs
I mean, they
Monty
could
gives you a look.
get
or
things-
moles.
Trade exists, and people can bring food harvested from the top.
I know, but it's always good to have local farm fresh things.
So
I bet they have really good mushrooms.
So you want to go?
mushrooms
You want to
sounds
go do
great.
the local drugs? Is what you're telling me? I mean, that might
I didn't
last
think
more
of
than
that.
6 hours. Is all I'm saying. Have you ever done shrooms before, dear?
I don't think that that's an ingredient I can get where I'm from.
Oh, as I start reaching into my fanny pack, gonna get out a baggie and I hand it to you. Just be outside in nature.
Monty,
much of-
was good to eat around here. Put us out of our misery, please.
He just stares at you.
Hi, Torin. Welcome to the party.
Sweet Ayun, what have I gotten myself into? As he turns around and leaves you where you are, assuming you to either follow him or go your own way.
I'm gonna follow him.
I don't think he wants to eat lunch with us, Torin.
That's okay. I'll eat lunch with him.
Oh. Mm.
You must still be very highly thought of if your picture is in such a prominent place, Monty.
I hope so. She and I are good friends still. She donates to the King's Guild every now and then and holds a place of honored patron. We function as well as we can with her donations.
Good to know you two can still be professional.
Of course. She came to my wedding. Anyways, food.
Yeah, we're eating lunch together, apparently.
Fun. He goes into a small building that looks like it shouldn't hold more than 3 people, and crowds into a table that barely fits any of you and kind of presses himself into the corner and kind of holds up a hand and holds up 5 fingers and food is brought to your table. It looks to be noodles and a nice broth and what looks to be warm drinks.
Aw.
Torn's gonna dig in.
How does Torin eat?
Torin sets up very straight, takes the same amount of soup in each spoonful, and proceeds to put it directly in his mouth. He chews exactly 16 times on each side.
Like, Daphne is just, like, staring at you intently as you do this, like, at some point, just, like, with a noodle, like, half hanging out of her mouth, like, she is very, very, very confused about this moment. Like, it's like, aw. So, why are you so, rigid, honey?
Well, rigid? What do you mean? I'm not rigid. I'm very flexible. I can touch my toes.
Oh,
You have the presence of some kind of military training.
Yeah.
Well, where I come from, honor above all.
So you display that in your body language.
What body language? What do you mean?
Well, okay, look at Mahanan here, and look at, Monty here, and I'm assuming Monty is just, like, kind of slouched a little bit.
Yeah, he's very grumpy old man in the corner watching all of you be
And,
you.
you kind of, like, notice, there's a slight relaxation and droop to the shoulders. No one is sitting exactly straight, like you are, and that's what we mean. Is that just custom where you come from? Is it that's normal?
Well, to be honest, I hadn't noticed it, but I guess it is.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry. I hope I didn't make you self-conscious now.
No, it's okay.
You're perfect the way you are.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
But perfection is a goal that is too high to attain for me. I strive to be excellent.
Oh.
Yes. Well, most Dragonborn of my clan, the Clan Yakash, not just of Clan Yakash, but you see, well, we strive for honor, and honor for the clan. It's not about oneself. It's about how the clan is represented. It's important not just to represent yourself well, but how that reflects on the clan. So maybe that's what you're talking about. The fact that I never let my guard down. Socially, I mean.
And I think I understand that exactly. In Malaford, I am part of the household of a baroness, and whatever I do reflects on her. So
I understand.
That's always kept in mind.
I live in a hut in the forest.
That is very nice.
With 49 chickens.
Oh, that's a large keeping of chickens.
I know. That's why I keep trying to go home. But my uncle's supposed to be taking care of them, even though he stole a chicken.
Stealing. Ooh.
He took my chicken. But he's family, so he gets away with things.
I understand. In Drakoska, a lot of us share wealth between the entire clan.
Oh no, they're not allowed to have my money, okay? But he can have a chicken. I guess.
Chicken.
Yes, a single chicken.
Good.
It just happened to be the best and cutest and most adorable chicken of the entire flock of chickens. But
I'm so sorry.
yeah, she made some good eggs. I was never gonna put her in a pot.
I. Wow.
I know.
Wow.
He just took her from me.
Heart wrenching.
How sincere is he?
Uh, can I ask her to roll a perception check? Or
Insight.
sorry, insight.
Insight.
Yeah.
That's still pretty high.
Roll an insight there.
You know, if you're not used to dragonborn faces, they're snoots. They're
Yeah,
they're
but
not
I
very
do hang out
readable.
with a lot of reptiles. Remember, I even petted a baby dragon. I remember this. What is my insight? A +6. That is a 22. 16 plus 6.
Do you want me to roll?
You can either roll persuasion or deception, your choice.
Okay.
Okay. Daphne, from what you can tell, he's pretty apologetic.
I'm touched. I'm so glad somebody here understands and sympathizes with my dilemma. It seems everyone has just been, like, not taking it seriously, but it's... I don't like my things taken, you know? Like, I have kept them to myself and everything to myself for so long and have collected them that they have a lot of... I just like my stuff. Does that ring
Yes,
familiar?
I totally understand. And I just kind of gently wrap her in a hug and pat her on the back slowly.
Oh, you're so
Yes.
cold.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's fine.
I thought at first it was just because you were greedy and possessive, but I understand now it's part of what makes you feel secure.
Yeah, why would I be greedy? Why would it make you think that I was greedy?
Torrin takes a second and considers Men's statement.
It was only first impression. They're not important.
Well,
I agree. First impressions mean nothing.
well, you two are out of luck if that's the case.
Monty leans forward. Who's your uncle?
Oh, he's an important elf man.
He lives in Winterdale?
Does my uncle live in Winterdale?
No.
Yeah, sure, I get. You know, I honestly don't know where he's lives. Because, you know, elves, they just kind of...
Uh-huh. What's his name? You're avoiding that question quite well.
Oh, he likes his privacy.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see. If we knew his name, we could, send him junk sendings.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't like junk sendings. In fact, he went paperless. All of his bills come in through the sending spell.
What does your uncle do?
He, employs people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What does he do?
I mean, sends good folk like us to help folk like you.
You came here by accident. You approached me. I didn't know you before yesterday.
Is that what happened? Okay. I forgot. Like
It
I
was
said,
yesterday.
he likes
Mehaman just slides out of the table and goes to get himself another drink.
You know, again, he likes his privacy.
Roll deception against Monty.
Okay. Oh no. Dancing the at 1. So that's... And I got a +0 to my chance.
Monty leans forward to you. It's like, you know I have resources to find him.
Okay, well then use them, because I just don't want to tell you.
He snaps his finger and you see the kobold appear kind of on the table.
If
He
you want to
leans
play
over.
Zone of Truth or Dare with me, you're gonna lose.
Oh, no, it's not that. Your last name? He pulls out the contract. Daphne Gravois. He hands it to the kobold. Find this person.
Find me?
This got very aggressive.
Yeah, I don't understand. So I guess the problem is like just because I'm very confused right now, and I'm actually reconsidering my reneging my contract now because I'm really confused why my personal life has anything to do with this. Why do you care so much that you want to use your resources on it?
Kobold vanishes with the contract, and Monty leans forward. So it can get your chicken back.
He's allowed to have my chicken.
Maybe I can get you 10 more like it. After all, we do have a trade
I have
agreement.
49 others.
Do you want ducks?
I
Is that
have
a
ducks too.
You just want to go home.
Yes.
Where's your home?
Over there. You just sent your kobold off. You're gonna find it. I'm a businesswoman. I've been handing out my cards. Like, it's not a secret.
All right. King's Guild will.
Why you gotta
confirm with
be
your
so
uncle.
nosy? This is the problem with everyone today. Is like people aren't allowed to just like be disconnected. Everyone's got to know everybody's business. This is why I live in the forest without people, because y'all are just awful. It's like having a neighbor that doesn't leave you alone.
I just wanted to set up trade with you and your company.
Okay, then why didn't you just ask?
I did.
No, you didn't. You kept asking what my uncle did. When I was clearly uncomfortable about sharing that information, you kept prying.
When
Okay.
someone's business is information, perhaps that's his way of asking.
You just need to be direct. It's just...
Communication is difficult sometimes.
Yeah,
Well,
obviously he has issues.
I'm not
It's
used to
rude.
the passing
are
of time
rude.
underground. How long has it been?
2 hours.
Very well.
Like,
Torrin looks a little tired for a second and says, I'm going to take a nap. I'll be back. Perhaps we can meet at the palace.
yeah, at the mess hall. I'm like, stand up and leave. Like, I am offended.
Monty just watches you, looks somewhat amused as he takes out a notebook and writes something down, closes it, and tucks it away.
Just offended.
He looks to you, Mohammed. Well, I guess I won't be recruiting from this group then.
To be honest, I'm not sure if we're spy material.
No, I don't think you're spy material, but you are adventurer material. Well,
That's up for debate.
most part. And you're willing to protect your resources, no matter who they are. It's quite honorable.
Well, honor is very important to two of us, at least.
I can't find her uncle. I just wanted to see how she reacted.
Out of character, call you out on your bullshit. That's what. Excuse you.
It was basically just wanting to test the waters to see how much information you would willing to give up on your family.
Ain't none of his business.
He recruits quite interestingly, and if you were interested, he would have offered a position,
Aw,
depending on how you reacted.
that's sweet.
Wait. Out of character. Torrin is a perfect spy. What's the problem? I don't get it.
Monty's interested in pulling various people into the fold for different parts, and he was interested in Torin, mainly because of his rigorous honor. He's interested in Mehmen because of his clerical abilities, and now his eyes has turned to Daphne because of her unique abilities, and he was curious on how far he could push her, and he got his answer.
I guarantee. Like,
And the little kobold is never gonna find your uncle because
oh,
your uncle's
like,
quite powerful.
like, good luck with that, honey. Good luck with that. Anyway, so we kind of just finagle for a couple more hours before we go to the mess hall because Daphne ain't got. Well,
You could shop, you could buy items, do what you want, get to know the city. There are plenty of people to talk to. Bugbears, goblins, drow, kobolds are running around here. Various people. It's a trade city. You can find whoever you want.
well, I would probably like to go to, like, the apothecary because see what kind of, like, spell components and ingredients, like, that's unique to the area.
Okay. To the apothecary. Mehmen, what are you doing?
I think that when it comes to when we've got about an hour left, I would like to go around the, not inside the palace grounds, but around the public areas that are near the palace, and find like a cozy little alleyway to turn myself into a gaseous form and float around and kind of try to pick up gossip.
Okay. And Torin, you're taking a nap?
Torrin says he's taking a nap, but he's
Okay.
actually practicing his martial arts forms, which he's not very good at, but he's practicing.
All right. Very good.
Being terrible at something is the first step to being kind of good at something.
Thank you.
All right. I'll start with Mehmen. As you find an alleyway, you turn yourself into a gaseous cloud. Yep, that's easy enough done. Roll a perception check to see if anybody's watching you.
Okay. Nice. 23.
Okay.
What?
Look
At
around.
20?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You look around, you don't see anybody. You see a strange looking fuzzy creature who might be the underground equivalent of a cat. You're not sure. But you turn yourself into a gaseous form and are able to float and drift above.
So I'm going to just kind of like make kind of a round of the public areas around the palace and see if I pick up any interesting gossip or
Okay.
yeah.
I'll say with that nat 20 you would carry over a bit. And as you go to various public places, you hear whispers of the excitement of the new queen, the rumors of the cults you've met. You do pick
Are they
up
like
some...
generally? Is the cult like generally despised?
It seems to be because there was a very public denouncement of Loth herself,
Right.
and the raising up of this new god is taking her place. Anybody who worships Loth is considered an outcast because she is quite an evil deity, and anyone who still followers
Yeah.
are seen as stuck in their old ways, traditionalists, unwilling to move forward.
Boomers.
Yeah.
Boomers. Hashtag boomers.
Okay,
boomers of
boomers.
Loth. That's what they're called now, the boomers of Loth. pick up the rumors that, or you do hear that there are whispers of a human male, graying red hair with a beard and pipe, wandering the cities, and you recognize the description. It seems Monty is quite generally despised in this city because of his relationship with the Queen to Be.
Mm.
But that's what you hear.
So I'm actually a little confused. He had a relationship with the Queen to Be, but he also had a wife and she died?
Yeah,
Mhm.
because of the disparity age, the Queen to Be had broken up with Monty, and about
15
years
years
later,
ago? Oh, okay.
yeah, 5 years after they had broken up, he met his wife, Mary, and they had 2 children together, and his family had perished.
Oh,
And that's why Monty's the way he is now, because of
And
that loss.
there was some kind of like public understanding that he was the party in the wrong when it came to their breakup.
Yeah. Even though they had the Queen to Be and Monty had agreed to break up mutually, the city of Drow didn't see it that way because
Yeah,
of
someone's
the
got to
court.
be at fault.
Yeah,
Mhm.
somebody's got to be at fault, so they blamed the human rather than
Makes
blame
sense.
their future ruler. Because she's going to rule them, she's going to guide them. Might as well support her any way they can. And so that's what the court did. So they smeared Monty's name despite him being rather honorable.
Okay.
All right. Torin,
yes.
you're practicing your martials. Give
Mhm.
me an athletics or an acrobatics as you're moving about, flexing, and where are you practicing all of this?
Just in my room.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely acrobatics then because
Okay.
you're in a small space.
Okay. Nice. Yes. That's a
With
nat one. Let's go.
Nat one. All right. You're going with a downswing with your weapon, and it gets caught in a table, and you try to pull your weapon free, but it's pretty wedged in. And as you yank it free, give me a strength check followed by a dex check. Yeah. Okay. Even better. So you're struggling to pull it out, and you overcorrect yourself, manage to pull it out. You stumble a bit too hard, collide with the wall, and punch your way through the wall and fall into the room next to yours, where a very startled halfling sits up from his bed and screams at you to get out.
I am so sorry. I'll just leave now.
Out!
Okay.
He kind of shoos you away, throwing sparks at you, and you see his hair just all tousled, bags under his eyes as he chases you away, yelling in halfling obscene words at you.
I'm gonna leave, and then I'm gonna take my cloak off gingerly and kind of put it covering the wall.
Doesn't do much as the wall is you size and your cloak only drapes down the center. It's still having like gaps on either side of it, and the halfling kind of pulls your cloak aside. Out.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You have a halfling leave and go downstairs and start yelling at the proprietor about this.
I am so sorry. And Torin just walks down the stairs and goes to the proprietor and says, "I've made a terrible mistake."
Proprietor looks between you and the halfling. It seems to be. Why is there a hole in my wall?
No good reason. I am so sorry. How can I fix this?
2 gold. Call it a day. I'll put you in a new room.
2 gold and 2 silver for your troubles. I'm so sorry.
Thanks. He takes the money and gives you a new key to a new room and starts apologizing to the halfling again, who's very irate at this moment.
It's my fault. Don't blame the. I'll just leave now.
You leave, and the halfling just glares at you.
Torrance just gonna sit and read a book for the rest of the time, not wanting to cause any more trouble.
Okay. As you sit and read, yeah, you offered food and water for your troubles, for just helping out generally. Daphne, you're finding an apothecary?
Yes.
Alright. Roll perception check.
An 18.
Alright. You remember a shop on the way here that you go back and take a moment and find it again, and it has a beautiful green sign on it with a what looks to be a silver bird of some type. It might be a phoenix, you're not sure. And it says the rising medical needs. It's a bit wordy in the mouth, but
Hey, I am tuning in
whoever
from
owns
the
it seems
train.
quite proud of it as they've painted the sign silver. It looks to be real silver paint.
Interesting. 1 second. She's gonna kind of look around. So this looks like an incredibly, well-established, well-meaning place.
Yeah, it seems to be. The front of the building is made of, looks like to be riverbed stone. Beautiful glass windows, well framed. The roof is what looks to be like a terracotta red clay structure. It looks, a lot of it's imported and not of the surrounding stone around you.
Okay. I'm gonna go inside, let it ding. And just see what does it look like inside.
Alright. Step in, and the floors look to be made of a nice birch wood. The shelves are oak, and the countertop that sits kind of in the back, it's made of the similar oak, and you see beautiful shelves lined with potions, medical wear-alls, components you might see in a typical magical pouch, and some other unique items like daggers and what might be a staff or two.
Okay. I'm gonna look around at the raw ingredients and just sort of browse without actually like touching any of it, just like looking, see if anything catches my eye, before like someone actually talks to me.
Okay. Roll me a perception check.
Dirty 20.
Okay, you look around and you find some very rare ingredients, what looks to be a red fine dust that has a bit of a spice to it. You sniff it and it smells like chili peppers almost.
Oh boy, I know what those smell like.
You see a blue lapis lazuli type powder ground in a fine dust, almost violet hue, dye color, purples sit next to it, and has this nice glow to it. You also see what looks to be giant's toes, kind of tucked up in a corner, drying. Doesn't take long before somebody kind of just appears beside you and a pleasant smile. It's like, how may I help you?
Oh, I'm just browsing. Are these like the common ingredients in, what do you provide here? What's your name? I'll look for a tag.
There's no tag, but you see the symbol of the bird on his label, and he's just, most people just call me Phoenix.
Oh, so okay. How many times have you risen from the Ashen Phoenix?
What a curious thing to ask. 4.
I'm sorry. I asked things, and I'm very curious. Back to my original stuff. What kind of things do you provide here at your apothecary? What are common, or maybe not so common, little things that are made here?
Well, I specialize in potion making, poisons, ingredients of various sorts, food flavoring, medicines. What are you looking for?
I'm actually just kind of curious if you had anyone asking for something sketchy recently who might be, or a place that is sketchier than your domain recently.
And if I say yes, what would you do with that information?
I would whatever I wanted. Well, let's just say that I am trying to protect somebody.
A potion of protection, then?
Sure. I mean, that sounds good.
He turns around and kind of glides across the floor before he reaches over the counter and goes, "Oh, where is it?" Picks up the potion and sets it down on the counter, turns around and steps to one side. Potion of protection.
Can I recognize, do I know the ingredients for this potion?
Roll in Arcana.
That is a 12 plus 5, so a 17.
You know, Potion of Protection is a unique combination of earth elemental magic and stone from the Earth Genasi Kingdom, and is ground up into a fine potion that is made up of a thicker liquid and is very much indicative of what a +1 to an armor class would be. It's unique in its property, but it has more of a natural resources to it rather than purely magical to the extent of cutting off body parts like you would giant toes.
Yeah. Are those ingredients present in this apothecary?
With that 20 before, you could see some of it. You could see some of the elements for it, but not all of them.
Not all of them. Okay. Are you and which one is missing?
The one that is missing would be probably the element that gives it a combination fusion form where it combines it all together. So the binding element.
Yeah.
And that seems to be missing.
Oh, are you do you make these in-house?
Some, not all. I'm a bit low on ingredients right now. We have to import.
Oh, I see. Did someone just buy the binding element on its own, and that's why you're low on binding elements?
No, a lot of the potions I use have binding elements, and I was short on my supplies this month. I had underpaid rather than...
Oh, is business
I was
not good?
broke. No, business as well as just poor management on my half this month.
Oh. Do you
I
not
was
have
quite
any...
distracted.
Oh, with what?
He kind of turns around and you kind of hear children laughing in the back.
Gross.
My children are home.
Gross.
He
Oh, I'm
pulls
sorry.
the potion away.
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Yes.
Just they tend to get fluids everywhere.
So do apothecaries.
Yeah, but not bodily fluids most of the time.
Not good ones.
I've never used bodily fluids in any of my potions. What kind of apothecary is this? You don't use... I'm not
What do
even
you
gonna
think
ask that question.
potions of giant strength are made of?
Oh my
Bodies.
god! Did they pee in those bottles?
What? I think you need to leave, Mom.
Well, that's what I meant with children being gross. You didn't answer my question about the if anyone sketchy's been around, or even anyone important has been around.
Several people. But I'm not going to give you their names. I don't know you.
Well, I'm very good at making things, but okay.
That's fantastic, and I'm sure you're
Bye!
good.
And I'm gonna leave.
The bell rings as you leave, as he puts the potion of protection away.
Okay.
He kind of goes to the door and watches you leave and locks it.
I'm going to look for my dragon friend.
Right. It takes you a few hours, but eventually you find him back at the pub.
Oh, hi. So how long do we have? We have a little while until we have to go meet. I need you.
Yes, what do you need me for?
You seem to be quite good with people.
Of course.
Better than I
That's
am.
my specialty.
I've noticed, beautiful shining man.
Thank you.
I was at the apothecary, and I suspect that maybe someone who wanted to assassinate would maybe visit the apothecary. However, he didn't answer my questions because the way that he spoke to me made it sound like he used his children's bodily fluids for potions. And I don't think that was the case, but I just left. So I would like you to be subtle and maybe go and talk to this man under the skies of getting information.
Definitely. I can't promise subtlety, but definitely
Just
I
don't
can
say
get
that
information.
I sent you. That's the only thing I ask.
Very well.
Okay. And I'm gonna tell him where this apothecary is, and it's like, go boy, get him.
Alright.
Torin opens the door, takes one step in, turns on his heel, and closes the door, and then turns and claps his hands and says, "Hello."
So you see the draw man there with the phoenix symbol on his staple, and he turns around. Hello.
How are you today?
Well, how are you today, sir? What can I get for you?
Well, I'm in the business of information today. I'm on official business, you see. I'm doing some research as a part of the, this palace staff, and I would like to know where, if one less scrupulous, less scrupulous than either of us would acquire poison for an assassination.
He stares at you for a moment. I think you need to leave, sir.
Well, I've asked all of your competitors, and they haven't said a word. I just don't understand.
And nor will I. Our clients are quite...
Of course, your clients are above repute.
And I wouldn't be a very good apothecary if I told you their names.
Of course, I don't expect you to. Just point me in the right direction. I'm on official business.
Roll persuasion check.
I love it so much.
He stares at you and then looks to the door, looks towards you. I think you need to leave, sir.
Very well. If there's anything I can do for you,
Please
is there
don't come
anyone
back.
else in the room?
You hear children in the back room, but it's just him in the front room.
Mhm. Well, if there's anything that I can do to change your mind, please do let me know.
Yes.
Good day.
Thank you. Good day. Please don't come back.
Okay. He'll do the same maneuver with the door and go back to the pub and say, Daphne,
Yes!
success!
Yeah?
I'm determined that he doesn't want to tell us anything.
Which makes me think he's hiding something.
Well, perhaps, but perhaps not. I couldn't tell.
Oh, you are too precious for this world.
Thank you, I think.
All right. We have a new goal. And I don't know why Daphne is fixated on this guy, but she's convinced. Like, she's just got a feeling.
You have a feeling of what?
That's not,
poor
it's gonna
NPC.
be a good night. So, she's like, I'm just saying, you know, assassinations, poisons kind of go hand in hand. We need to figure out a way to apologize properly by buying this man a drink. He has been around. We're gonna need. You know what? We're gonna need a face he hasn't seen before. Where's our cleric?
Try once. If it doesn't work, try it again. If
Third
it doesn't
time's
work,
the charm.
try a third time.
This poor stupid NPC.
This is what happens when we have 6 hours to kill.
Where are you, Mehaman, as your party looks for you?
I'm busy being a cloud.
Oh, that's right. You're
But
busy being a cloud. Well,
Yeah.
we don't have to do it tonight. We can do it tomorrow. It's fine. It's about that time anyway. I guess we need to go have coffee with this lady.
So if I see them approaching the palace, I'll flit over to them and materialize. Hello.
Okay.
That's a nice form. Trick.
Well, you know, it comes pretty naturally being an air elemental and everything like that.
You're an air elemental. I'm gonna poke your shoulder gently.
Well, it's in my heritage.
Oh.
Just like you're not a dragon.
Oh, I understand.
I was hoping to get some gossip, but really all I heard was that no one really likes Monty very much.
Oh.
I wonder, though, if it might be opportunistic for someone to frame him. But I don't know.
Do you think he's the one behind it?
I don't really know why he would want to. I mean, he seems like he's on good terms with the Queen.
Yes, but appearances can be deceiving. Torin raises
That's-
his rope-like eyebrows over and over and over.
That's a very good point, and Monty could deceive any of us if he wanted to.
Yes. We should bring him in.
Maybe
Well-
we should talk to Miriam first.
Oh, right. I forget myself.
Okay.
I'm beginning to think that this might come down to offering the Queen some direct bodyguard service.
Yeah, that does sound like it. We would be terrible at that job.
I don't know. I feel like
Okay, maybe you would be good at that job.
we could keep an eye on someone. Keep some. Well, I feel like we could keep one person alive.
Usually, yeah.
I've given Monty my word that I will come to solve this assassination, and on the order of Clan Yakash, I will do it.
I don't know what any of those words mean, but okay.
Yes,
Would
my
you like
master's
me to-
house's reputation is depending on this, and I would hate for a diplomatic incident to be done on my watch. It wouldn't be very good for their relations.
So, let's head out. Let's meet this Miriam.
Okay. We're gonna go to
Right.
the mess hall. Hopefully we'll be
Right.
is allowed in.
It was easily enough done because you still have the assemblage of the King's Guild on you,
Mm-hmm.
so you can easily get in with that without Monty being there because he's not joined you.
Mm-hmm. Was he supposed to?
He was supposed to.
Hmm.
You ask around for the mess hall because you don't know anything about this palace.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You ask around a bit, and some piece of the servants just give you a look. Some dismissively, others just skitter out of your way. Before one kind of waves you over and points silently down a hall towards where you assume the mess hall is.
Thank you, sir. Or ma'am.
Yep. He kind of scuttles away.
Head to the mess hall.
Yeah,
Alright.
going into that mess hall.
You push into the mess hall, and it's a smaller round room, and you see Miriam there, kind of out of her armor. She has short, shaved white hair. Her features are a bit more masculine in features, but she sits there holding a drink, and she looks visibly relaxed from when you saw her.
Mm.
She just looks up at you and nods to the table.
I
Well,
sit
Miriam.
down.
Thank you so much for spending your free time with us.
Yeah. What can I do for you?
Well, we have unfortunate news. Do you know, or do you have any reason to believe that the Honor Guard could be investigating this issue?
Well, we wouldn't be an honor guard without investigation, so.
Well, I must ask. Did you have anyone in the headquarters of the Hand of Loaf recently?
We had someone, but we pulled them out 3 days ago. The Hand of Loath isn't really much of a threat to Her Highness.
Does that jive with the information we have?
Someone was in there yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and stare at her just like unmoving and say does she believe what she's saying?
Roll an insight.
That's a nat 20.
So not 20 for 21. You look her over as she's sipping her drink. Her posture's very relaxed, and she believes what she's saying. They had put somebody in, but it seems they had put somebody out 3 days prior to yesterday.
I think she's telling the truth. Do you?
Well, I don't want to potentially out someone who's just trying to worship, but I think it is suspicious.
I think the security of Her Imperial Royal Majestic Highness is more important.
I agree.
Well, do you want to tell the story or should I?
Well, I was there. I'll tell it. Miriam, we saw someone not 3 days ago, but 1 day ago, who was surreptitiously among the Hand of Loth. I don't know why they were there, but once we noticed the markings on their face, they ran from us.
I'm gonna cast minor illusion and show the marking on the face.
She looks over the marking and taps her chin. Huh. All right. Anything else?
Well, we suspect this might be someone possibly looking to frame the Hand of Loth for whatever they are planning to do. Certainly was suspicious behavior. And is there anyone under your brigade that you think might be up to this?
She points at the assemblage that's floating in the illusion. That's my lieutenant's markings.
Ah,
Well, I'll be a son of a bitch.
would you
This
like
is
us? Sorry, go ahead.
no. You should speak.
Would you like us to interrogate him with you?
Nah, I'm going to kill him myself.
Oh, well, it would be good to know for sure first.
Yes. Unfortunately, although I do understand the dishonor causing you to want to kill him, we need to be sure that this is the only threat. Do you agree?
Sure. And if he's just a heretic worshiping Loth, well, he's a heretic worshiping Loth. He can be banished for all I care.
Yes. Well,
He has no place in the palace if he's worshipping a false deity.
there's no chance he could be in league with anyone else, could there? I don't think an assassination of Empress is a one-man job.
Possibly, but you have to find him first.
What do you mean?
Didn't check in today. Thought he was sick.
Well, that definitely arouses suspicion. Well, perhaps you should guard the Empress and we'll go investigate.
His quarters are 3 floors up to the right of here.
Can you
She
show
takes
us?
that up. Yeah, I guess I'll show you myself.
Thank you.
She kind of stands up and pulls on her armor once more. If Kinley is part of this plot, then I'll take pleasure in killing him myself.
But if he is acting with help, we may not avoid any kind of calamity by killing him. So it's important we get him to talk first.
Sure. We'll get him to talk. Our spy master's very good at it.
Oh, I should love to meet him.
Sure. As Miriam turns around and downs her drink, sits it down, and looks to y'all. You know, you're all pretty good people.
Thank you.
Despite your court appearance this morning.
Thank you. You
She
as well.
looks to Daphne.
Daphne,
Come.
you're surprisingly quiet. Although I suppose that's okay.
Now she's learning to speak only when necessary.
I respect that. I've been known to put my, I guess you humanoids call it, foot in my mouth once or twice.
No, surely not.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that vote of confidence. Now let's see the room of this lieutenant.
Come on. Miriam kind of grabs a wine jug and tucks it into her pouch, and she leads you 3 floors up and to the left. And you approach a rather simple-looking door as she unlocks it and pushes the door open without knocking. She stands to one side, listening. Let's see if she can actually hear things. She doesn't hear anything. And
What?
kind of steps into the space, looking around.
What are we listening for?
I was seeing if he was actually in, or if, the fucker actually bugged his room and tried to kill us.
Smart. I'm gonna keep my eyes on her.
Alright. She looks around and starts rifling through some papers, pulling some books off the shelf, and kind of just taps the wall as she thinks. You can investigate the room at your pleasure.
Yes. Would that be an investigation roll?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll help you, but oh, I'm not proficient, so that wouldn't be much.
I'm not either, and honestly, I have a negative modifier to that. So I'm happy to still roll, but
Yeah,
might be
you
better
can
if I
roll
help
with
you.
advantage if Torin is helping you.
Okay, I'll help you.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 12.
Well, I'm glad I gave you advantage.
I'm glad too.
So
A dirty
12.
one.
Wait. Stupid question. Someone gave you what? A nat 20 was it? Someone subbed?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't see any on my spreadsheets.
Okay. My bad then. Okay. So, someone gave someone something. Anyway,
So you look around with the 12. The room is quite simple, has a singular bed, carpet on the floor, windows to the far south, what seems to be paneled walls, bookshelves, a desk. You look around and Miriam's rifling through some papers. You go to a dresser and pull it open. And looking through it, you find what seems to be a journal kind of resting on top of what looks to be socks, maybe. And a few like odds, bits, and ends, like somebody just tossed them into the drawer to keep them from rolling around.
find anything interesting, Miriam?
Miriam looks to you. Nothing, just routine schedules and love letters to and Mr. Walsley down in Old Holt. She looks over them, the grin spreading across her face. Quite detailed.
Oh my.
Well, I mean, I not to pass judgment on your traditions, but doesn't seem like a very it doesn't seem like a very wise thing to force your workers into celibacy. They're bound to do something like this.
I
It must
mean,
happen all the time.
sure. As long as none of us get married, it really doesn't matter. I mean, we can write love letters, we can have flings, as long as we don't act upon it.
Oh, I see.
I mean, physical relationship doesn't have to be that intimate, just hugging, parent stuff.
So as long
Right.
as they're
So
target-
as long as it's only handsy, it's allowed, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
we're not cruel. We're mean, but not cruel.
right.
Daphne,
Hmm.
we're in the room of this lieutenant who is absent without leave, and it looks like they were the one that we saw in the Lulf cult. Breathing.
Okay, so this is the person, and we have that information?
Yeah, Miriam
Okay.
identified the markings.
Gotcha. Okay. Did we ask why he was down there?
He was not supposed to be. Apparently, they had people investigating the Lulf followers, but not yesterday.
Okay. Okay.
These love letters. You said you knew who they're to. Could it be that he was there visiting someone?
I mean, if Mr. Walsley wants to come down here from Oldport, that's quite a journey.
Long distance.
Yeah, about 3 months worth of distance.
So their presence in the cult still is pretty suspicious.
Yeah. If my lieutenant was here, well, cold. I didn't order him there. I would never put him there. It's not his job.
Um, since we were on this subject, maybe this was asked out of character while I was bioing. Do you think maybe someone in your platoon was down there because they don't like being celibate?
Possibly. I mean, if they break the rules of celibacy, they can't be an honor guard.
Did you have any honor guards that might have been former cult members? Or maybe their family had been in a few generations? Is there any, it's just like, not them per se, but it's just like, maybe they had that one weird uncle.
Possible. I mean, cult of Loth only really started to die out about 200 years ago. I'm 300, so I remember it.
You look good for 300.
Thank you. You're not bad for yourself, you little dragon man.
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't know how to say this, Miriam, but to be honest, we're putting a lot of faith in you. You're the one that outed your lieutenant, and if you're in on the plot, we'd have no way of knowing. Can you give us any sort of assurance that you're not in on this either?
Yeah, I can give you assurance. Come on.
Okay, I'm gonna follow her.
She turns around and hands you the wine bottle she has picked up from the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
This is really good stuff. It's Harris mead. It's some of the best halfling mead in the world.
Oh, I'm sure it's just fantastic. I knew that. I know Harris, actually.
You know Mr. Outfield. Oh, shit.
Yeah, we had quite an adventure together.
That was a little fucker. I mean, he disappears for some time.
It's been a while. He just kind of left after we were done with our business. After I paid him. Not in that manner. There was just this whole being trapped in the Underdark thing, and he was able to help me get out, and a couple others. But
we're in the Underdark.
Not the Underdark. I'm sorry. I meant to say the Shadowfell. Out of character.
Oh, that makes much more sense. I mean, if Harris is trapped in the Underdark,
yeah, I get the two
making
mixed
mead
up.
for us.
Out of characterly, I get the two mixed up all the time.
Yeah. Miriam's just giving you shit because she can.
Okay.
So this mead, is it?
Yeah. And she gives you both Daphne and Mohammed mead. It's some of the best in the world.
I'm gonna.
I quite like it.
You go ahead and have it first.
All right. She takes the bottle from you and drinks it. I think this is the lavender one. She hands it back.
Okay.
Torrent's gonna gingerly take a sip.
All right. It's very floral, has a lot of honey mead flavor to it. It's quite nice to the taste. It reminds you of a summer day almost.
Gonna say lovely and take another sip and then pass it around. Why is this insurance? I don't understand.
Oh, this is not insurance. I just wanted to share a drink with all of you.
Oh, how nice. I'll also drink.
Like I said, you're all right, despite your morning upset. Come on. She leads you to a large room with the double door. She kind of pushes open almost aggressively. She doesn't mean to, but her form and size just kind of makes her a bit aggressive in her mannerisms. And she steps into the space and looks around and points to a far wall. That's my family. We've been serving the royals for, gosh, 1,000 years or so.
Wow.
So this is a family business?
No, family's a bit loose in this term. It's a way it happens. The captains adopt a daughter or son to take over, and
It's through adoption. I understand, because this would be,
Yeah.
I would be very confused if this was a family affair. I was like,
Nah,
well, you
sorry.
do live long enough, and you could have, like, before your veils, be...
I mean, my sister was before her vows, before her husband died, and her kid's grown. She joined the honor guard, but
So the honor guard are a bunch of nuns. Understandable.
more or less. I mean, we have brothers and sisters all adopted by our captains and admirals and stuff like that.
Who abandons you if you're adopted?
If we're abandoned, it's by those who don't want to be in the service anymore, who want families, who want to go see the world. It happens, but it's frowned upon, and there's a lot of social pressure behind it.
I'm very confused by the social...
So the drow culture is different. I don't fully understand it myself.
I'm very...
If you're worth a shit, you're an honor guard. That's what it means. And if you can't be the shit, you leave.
I'm still confused
what
how
could have
babies are
possessed-
born in this society. like, I'm just...
What do you mean?
I think babies
We
are born the
have
traditional
regular
way.
people who are not part of the honor guard, who are mums and dads.
Yeah, who abandoned you for the honor guard is what I'm understanding.
Oh, nobody abandoned me. I grew up in a family.
And
I'm
then you
part
got
of-
I'm sorry, it's just when I assume you're adopted by somebody, you don't have parents, that you're an orphan.
Oh, it's adoption in the loosest terms.
Okay. I'm sorry
Yeah.
that I assumed that you were an orphan.
Yeah, no, I have mom and dad. They're not
Okay.
that children.
See, that's where my confusion was. I apologize.
If the honor guard is so tight-knit, what could have possessed your lieutenant to abandon his post like this?
Greed, power,
Pussy.
escape, pussy dick, whatever. But
I
honestly,
like cats too.
Yes, honey. Cats.
God, you're an adorable little dragon man.
Right?
Thank you.
He's ours. You can't have him.
Don't think we could adopt him into the honor guard. He's a bit too innocent.
What do you mean? I am perfectly well versed in the art of warfare. I could guard with my honor until the end of time. Torin blusters.
God, he's cute.
I love big dragon boy.
But no, adoption is more of when we come into the honor guard, our captains.
More of
become
a mentorship kind of
Yeah.
thing, not in. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, I'm so sorry that I was confused and it off tracked this actual conversation. That's just in characterly what Daphne does. She's just naturally curious about everything and awkward about asking for stuff. like,
Miriam
sorry, but
doesn't
yeah.
seem to mind the questions. She's pretty relaxed around you.
But,
Miriam, I was thinking of tracking down this lieutenant of yours, but unfortunately, I do not have. Our species was not gifted with a dragon sense of smell or tracking, for that matter. Do you think you might have someone or something more capable.
Yeah, I got a couple things. I'll let you borrow them since I gotta keep my duties here. You could earn favors from the crown. He pulls out 4 stones and gives you them and nods to them. They're a black onyx, flat stone, kind of like a riverbed, smooth in texture. Just give those a squeeze and they'll help you find that lieutenant of mine.
Torin nods a thank you.
I'm gonna give one to each of your companions, just to spread it around a bit.
Sounds good.
Is this for scrying?
Nah. Those are
But
for hunting.
I'm gonna hold it out and gently squeeze it, kind of unsure.
The stone itself is hard like stone, but you squeeze it and you feel it kind of give way a bit before it shifts out of your hand and kind of melts to the floor, and almost the way smoke falls from an object or
Oh my.
overflows and spreads across the floor before it pulls itself back up onto 4 legs, and you see a blaze of red eyes, snarling snout, a shaggy black coat, as a black dog appears before you. Almost large in size. It's larger than any dog you've seen.
Hello, I'm gonna offer him my hand to sniff.
The
Good
dog
boy.
sniffs it and gives a low growl before circling around you and sits at your feet.
Hello, I'm going to call you Fido. Is that your name?
You hear another low growl as it looks up at you.
Okay, well, Fido, we're trying to track a man. I'm gonna pull the dirty socks out of the drawer and tell him to send. Do you understand, Fido? We're trying to track him.
Fido sniffs his socks and then sits back down looking towards you, expectantly.
Well, lead on. How do you get this thing to work, Miriam?
Miriam laughs. Just tell it to track.
Fido, track.
Fido stands up and slinks away from you, sniffing the air, weaving down the hall away from you.
Gonna follow him.
Yes.
All right. As you follow Fido, the dog kind of slinks around corners, kind of pressing itself against the walls in an almost shadow-like manner before going down the stairs and slipping all the way down along the wall and waits at the bottom of the stairs for all of you.
Well,
Yeah.
Miriam, it seems we have places to be.
It seems you do. Take good care of Fido and his brothers.
Will
Out
do.
of-
Thank you.
Out of
Thank you
character,
so much
we
for your
use
help.
this, a statuette of wondrous items or
It is
Figurine.
actually a homebrew item.
a homebrew item. Okay, it just reminds me of the figurines.
Yes, the statue
Shadow
of
puppy.
wondrous dog figurine is actually I think, like either like one of those big snow mountain dogs
Yeah,
or whatever Marmaduke is.
a
Great Dane. Yeah, this is nothing like this. This is more wolf-like and
Cool.
more fluid.
Hmm.
It's actually more akin to what a hellhound is or a shadowhound is from the sorcerer class.
Oh, okay.
Shadow sorcerer.
Nice. Alright, well, we're gonna
And they are
follow
very
this
good at
good boy.
tracking.
We're gonna follow this good boy.
You follow Fido, and soon Torin has given you each a stone, one for a drawer down the road. And you follow Fido down, and he kind of leads you out to the gardens, kind of sniffs the air, and pauses before going towards the gates. Sniffing the air in confusion. Let's see what Fido rolls. See if he can keep track. Yeah, Fido can keep track.
Well then.
He pauses and then kind of bounds away, like you know how rabbits kind of bound across the grass. He kind of does that for a moment before kind of digging at the wall and growls at it.
Did he climb the wall?
You approach, roll me a perception check as Fido's kind of furiously digging at the wall. You can all roll perception.
Yeah. 16.
Thank you.
16, 7, and
6.
6. Daphne, you have to kind of pull Fido away from the wall, but you see a circle kind of drawn crudely onto the stone. It's kind of embedded, and you know enough magic to know that any circle that's embedded in stone would have to have been repeatedly used over time.
Yeah. Okay. Can I make an Arcana check to see what kind of spell this might be a part of?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Oof. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
It's hard to tell. You know, there's various types of magical circles. You see two different elements that kind of contradict what you think it is. It's a bit hard to tell.
What does the circle look like?
It is a almost oval-shaped circle within a larger circle. Has 3 other spheres around it, and each of the spheres seems to have their own arcanic markers within it. And the center of this oval has what looks to be a square with some sort of rune in the middle of it. You can each roll me a history check.
I was also gonna say, I'm thinking I might take the time to dispel, detect magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to, if we have the time, I'll ritual cast it.
Yeah. Okay. But roll me history, all of you.
Yeah, history is 13.
Well, I'm very consistent. Very kind of low, but very consistent.
Mehemen, what's your history?
Let's see. 8.
Mm-hmm. You would have recognized, but Daphne, you recognize this as part of the assemblage of what you think might connect you to Draconol. It's a very ancient symbol of Draconol.
Okay.
What time period you're not sure, but you recognize it through some of the magic castings you've used. It's more of a symbolage of fire, and it's a cheap way to get around writing out the entire fire rune. It's a unique magic casting ability in itself. Detect magic. You take the time to see what this is, and it does glow a nice faint color. It is what is transportation part of? Transmutation? Evocation? Gotta look this up.
I mean, it's a transportation spell. That can be its own category.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be conjuration.
I think so too.
But it's transportation either way.
Yeah. Teleportation, so.
And by a circle in stone, do you mean a circle carved in stone or painted on stone or?
It seems to be carved in stone. Page. Fantastic. We'll just say it's conjuration for now. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Alright, so this is a conjuration. So so conjuration spells are like teleportation and things like that. Does it, now that I have like put all this together, look like it is possibly a teleportation spell?
Yeah, you've put 2 and 2 together and realized it's a teleportation circle, and for it to be so ingrained in stone, it would have to been used over a year or so.
Torin is going to walk up, ready himself, get into like a kind of readying crouch, and he's gonna ball his fists get ready to punch and shout at the rune and say, "Open sesame!"
That should work.
Yes, it should. Those are the words of power, are they not?
Roll me an attack roll, unarmed, as you hit the
Okay.
stone.
I don't have an attack set up, so it's roll
Your
D20
strength
plus
modifier plus.
Hey!
Doesn't matter. Okay, so you hit it, and the stone cracks almost. It's a softer stone beneath your fist. Nothing happens. All of you roll a perception check as Fido kind of paces behind you restlessly.
You do have powerful claws. Did you say
23.
23.
9?
Both of you not okay.
It's okay. I'm a wisdom-based character, guys. Like,
Your first check over, Daphne didn't get you to notice, but this time upon closer inspection, you realize there is an element missing from the circle, disabling it.
Can I roll some kind of check to figure out what's missing?
Sure.
Okay.
I will assist.
Okay. What kind of check would it be?
Probably investigation.
An investigation? Okay.
Yeah. Because you would know enough about circles and how they work to know what
is missing. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a +2 on investigation. That
You know, my old master always said, circles are 2D variation of spheres.
an 18.
You look towards the westerly end of this circle and you see that there's a stone missing, and you guess that would probably hold the last rune that would make up the rest of this circle. Because the three other spheres seem to hold the westerly, northerly, and easterly symbols for earth, air, water, and then fire is missing.
Fire is missing. The runes that are there, are they like magically charged, or is just like the rune itself that's magical? Like,
the circle itself is inactive because it's not intact. It can't be used. But those are the elements that would enhance it to allow further travel or far exact travel. It's a very well made circle.
What language are the runes in?
Roll me history. Or tell me what languages you do speak.
Well, I can also use comprehend languages. So,
Yes, you can.
Stuff that I do speak fluently without comprehend languages is Common, Elven, Sylvan, Celestial, Giant, Infernal, and Draconic.
Okay. You know that most of the ancient magics of the world are made up of some sort of Draconic.
Okay.
It gets muddled over time and more languages intercede with their own spells, but at the base of the core, it is Draconic.
Okay.
But you recognize most of the assemblage as ancient Draconic.
Ancient Draconic. Okay. And so, do I know what the word for fire, how to write the word fire in this language?
I would say you would have to make a history check to know exactly, because ancient Draconic is not really practiced anymore, and the assemblage for fire has changed so much. It can be any symbol.
15.
It kind of clicks and you think you have an idea. Do you want to go?
I'm going to first kind of like draw it in the, I'm going to draw what I think it is in the ground, and I'm going to turn to my dragonborn friend and be like, does this look like the oldest version of Draconic that you know? Or is there something older?
Oren turns to the rune and jumps back. Oh, try not to burn yourself. The old rune is very dangerous. It can spontaneously combust if drawn incorrectly. Let me examine this rune. Do you want me to roll something?
Yeah, roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
I would like to cast guidance.
Okay.
And that's a D4?
I'm on the back.
So that's 11,
Okay.
I think.
11. That's what you needed. It's pretty close. The ancient form of Draconic for the word fire. It's pretty close to what you know it as. A few lines are off, but not drastically terrible.
Well, this is the correct symbol, but it's who knows what it'll do if we put it in there.
Well, is it just my handwriting?
Maybe.
Then how about, and I'm gonna find a stone that as closely resembles the ones that are ruined.
Okay. It's all part of the wall that lines the palace.
Right, and the way that I'm imagining it, and just tell me if I'm wrong, is that the thing there's missing, there's like a hole, like a missing piece, right?
Yeah.
Were they like structured stones walls?
Yeah.
Like, or
is it's a bit of a carved wall. It looks like it's part of the natural elements of this landscape. It seems to be carved a natural defense. Like somebody magically took the time to carve a wall.
Okay. So, I'm still gonna find a rock.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna hold it out to our friend and be like, so, you put this rune on this rock.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Do your best.
Do you want me to roll something?
Yeah, roll me a dexterity.
Guidance.
Yay!
Thank you. Oh, that's a nat 20. So that's a 20-something.
Yeah, 21. And if you want to roll guidance, you can.
Oh yeah. That's two crit successes, so it's a 25.
25. You are just taking the moment and realize, I can do this whatever I want. And you do a nice flourish of ancient draconic and turn around, and it's gorgeous.
What do you think?
Oh, your handwriting is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Well, without your words of inspiration, I wouldn't have been able to do it at all.
Okay. And then with that, I'll take it from him, and I'll take like a copper piece, or a couple copper pieces that I have, and like turn it on like the opposite. How far up is the missing piece?
It's actually at bottom of the ground because
so I can reach it. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do is sort of like put the bottom in like pieces of copper, however many it takes, and I would like to heat metal the copper so that it liquefies, and I would like to use it to help mold this piece of the stone into where the heat from that to fit into the missing spot.
Easily enough done. You slide it in without much resistance because the liquid form of the copper helps kind of smooth the way in, and you put it in and it fits rather nicely, and you all see a glow come from the circle. It is active.
Wow, did you really do that? That's very impressive.
We did it!
Together!
We're a team, guys.
Do I know if this will go to one place or it just allows travel?
You're not sure where it goes. You know it allows travel, but not where.
So it goes to one place, or can it go to... Oh, okay.
It seems to go to one place.
Okay. Well...
I guess we're still giving chase, aren't we?
20 minutes, in and out.
Quick, I don't know what is that about that. I mean, that's the thing. Are we going in this now, or are we?
Yes.
I'm just going to.
It could be closer to home.
Yes, absolutely. But I'm just going head first into a teleportation circle that we don't know where it goes.
You could find your chickens there.
I know exactly where my chickens are. Okay, most of them.
When was the last time you saw them?
Oh my god.
How do you know they're
Can
actually
you
there?
not cause me anxiety about my chickens, please?
Let's go. 20 minutes, no problem. Fido, track.
Fido looks towards you and presses into the circle, and he vanishes. In a
I'm gonna follow
scattering
him.
of particles.
I jump in.
Nobody has
All right.
sending, right?
I do.
You need to send a message to Jorah about where we are so that he can come meet us. Like...
Sure. Okay, I'll send it now before we go in.
Okay, I
noticed.
Dabney
plane.
feels a little bit more comfortably because, you know, it's also almost 2 o'clock, so I have to make sure that all the things are covered. Okay, all right.
Shura, on the castle wall is a transportation glyph. We've gone through it. This is Muhammad.
Remember us.
All right, message is sent. All right, and I'll tell Emma about it. You all step through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You
I'll
all
go
step
in.
through.
Mm-hmm.
One by one, you shoot through this teleportation circle and feel the coldness of the everlasting abyss around you, pulling air from your lungs. As you look forward, you see a glow of bright light before you, widening, stretching, filling your vision before you stumble out and you look around. Before you are paved white stone streets, beautiful homes made of white alabaster granite and wooden beams that stretch off to the sky. You see banners kind of hung neatly over the streetways, and in the distance you hear the tinkering of hammers, the call of horses. Guards are all around you, people looking at you curiously but don't pay you much mind. And very distant, at the top of the hill, you see a castle. It is the middle of the day, it seems to be. And for a brief moment, you smell sea air, and the call of gulls are very distantly heard.
Okay, we're close to the ocean.
God, you don't notice how stale the air is underground until you're not out in nice fresh air.
Is the circle behind us?
You look behind you, and the circle's still there.
Okay.
Roll me a perception check.
Can I roll this too?
Mm-hmm, you all can.
Does somebody want to help me?
Yeah, sure.
Dear me.
It's not that much better. It's an 11.
The circle's in a temple.
Oh, so we're inside of a temple.
You're on an open air
An
temple.
open
it
air
seems.
temple. Okay.
And you would all know historically teleportation circles are used by temples quite often. But what's most striking about this is the temple across from you
Mm-hmm.
is the ever beautiful temple of Ayun. Particularly the temple of Ayun in Cork, in Dragon Ball.
Oh. We are closer to my house.
I told you.
Very distantly, you hear the bells chime the hour, and you see somebody past you, and you recognize the assemblage on their armband. It's the King's Guild.
Hello, friend.
They look at you and wave. Hi. Disappear around the corner.
Good to see you, I guess.
Catch that person!
Fido looks at you and then follows the person around the corner. As you all turn around the corner, in front of you, on a beautiful brass plaque, you see the words, the King's Guild. Sitting behind beautiful bronze rod and brick walls is the guild itself. And then
Well.
you hear an explosion. And that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Yay! This gets me excited. Oh man! All right, fantastic, amazing, Jin. Thank you so much. So yeah, heads up, guys. We that was great. That was fantastic and fun. And I'm sorry I had a really long bio break in the middle of there. There's just some stomach acid coming out of my nostrils. It was fine. It's a normal day. We're fine. But thank you so much. That was great. A couple things just to let everybody know before we do a quick round table. We have lots of D&D continuing this week. On Saturday we have Curse of Strahd, and on Sunday we have Dragonstone, which is what I DM. And then next week we have Revenge of the Gith on Tuesday and Shadow over Andalos on Thursday evening. So tune in for those if you enjoyed this. We have lots and lots of really great dice rolling for you. And without further ado, guys, just go ahead and go around the table, tell us how much you enjoyed yourself, and tell us where to find you on the internet in the next couple of weeks. And we'll go backwards this time with our new face here, Martin.
Well, hello. My name is Martin. I had a lot of fun. Torin's always fun to play. He's always my backup character. Yeah. Meeting an Empress was definitely crossed off the bucket list. And that cliffhanger. Yes. I had a great time. You can find me at twitch.tv/pink_mun. I'll post the link in chat if you want. You can find me. You can also find me here probably next week. So
2 weeks.
You're right.
We're an every other week. Yes. Awesome.
Yes, I should definitely know the schedule. But you should too, you viewer. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Martin. It is a pleasure to have you join us.
Thank you.
Freddie.
Oh, me? You can find me at His Majesty on Twitter. I am an illustrator, so go there for lots of like tiefling pinups and things like that. And I had a lot of fun today. I'm super excited about this new location and an explosion, and not having 2 of my highest spell slots anymore.
And of course, last but not least, our storyteller, Jen.
Hi guys, you can find me over at Twitter at LaughMakerDND. You can find me over at Indoor Adventures channel once a month, where we do our Monster Noir, the 1920s storytelling improv event where I play a very dashing, dumb fae boy named Beltane Hawthorne who's just struggling to make friends at every turn and is failing so hard. You can find me here every other week, DMing these wonderful people, and drop me a like, tweet, whatever, on my social, and I'll get back to you, because I love chatting with new pals.
You mean Uncle Beltane?
Beltane has many reincarnations.
Yeah. No, I understand. I get that.
Yeah. And I didn't want to think of a new name.
Great. Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. We're going to go ahead and say hello over to Follow Black Cats, who's also streaming Dungeons & Dragons, and that's a really cool name. So please be sure to give some love over there to that particular stream, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.